Yesterday was a long day. Is the music over? Is the squeeze over? Has the music stopped playing? I don't think so. In fact, I'm almost certain. I'm down just as much as everyone else on these call options, on these shares. Just pay attention to the video. GameStop stock tanks 15% during shareholder meeting. GameStop stock falls again. The rally has run out of steam. Now, quadruple witching day is this Friday. This is where 4 types of contracts expire at the same time. Stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, and single stock futures. When derivatives expire, traders must adjust or close their positions. This can lead to higher trading volumes and increased market volatility. Investors may roll over their positions, enter settlements, or hedge their positions. The high volume of orders can also create arbitrage opportunities. Now, one reason the combination of monthly and quarterly derivative expirations generates heavy trading volume is that in-the-money options contracts are subject to automatic exercise, requiring the delivery of the underlying shares in the case of call options. Requiring the delivery of the underlying shares in the case of call options being in the money, subject to auto exercise. Anybody with option contracts in the money, letting them expire on quadruple witching day, aka this Friday, is auto exercise, meaning market makers have to go out and purchase as many shares per contract expiring in the money that is needed. Now, Roaring Kitty has showed us something that we completely disregarded so far. He purchased his shares around May 17th. Though credited the shares immediately, the market makers will not buy them from a market for another T+35 days. Now, this could be the same exact way Cohen ignited the 2021 squeeze. He bought his 1 million shares December 17th, 2020, and the purchase of shares had no effect on share price until those days T+35 days later. Now, there's sort of proof of this. Confirmation of T+35 FTD cycles, evidence from GameStop Corp, and there is a link to this. In this, they examined potential cycles in the valuation of GameStop due to the unique exemptions in exchange-traded ETFs. In order to satisfy liquidity in the market, a market maker, aka Citadel and/or authorized participant, is allowed to sell ETF shares that have not been created. In this paper, they found evidence that ETF FTDs formed consistent cycles in the day T+35 FTD clearing period. Now, not digging through the entire paper and the entire piece of this project, they've been using ETFs as a main source of synthetic shares. That's why XRT, an ETF in which holds GameStop, has over 400% short interest. So no. Anyone telling you, hey guys, short interest was much higher in 2021, it was at 140%, that is wrong. The short interest is over 400% on GameStop. And now we might be on to something. This Friday is June 21st, which is quad witching day, but it's not only quad witching day. This is the day that lines up with Roaring Kitty's purchase of his stock, or at least what we know of, right? And if we take a look at the details of this, this is when Ryan Cohen purchased back here. 35 days later exactly, GameStop's price just started skyrocketing and scaling higher. There's evidence here, okay? This is exactly when it started. Roaring Kitty purchased back here 35 days later is on Friday, June 21st, 2024. What does this mean? We're going to cover some technicals in case GameStop doesn't start to squeeze off of this level. I want to cover a couple of things. If we take a look back during the January 2021 squeeze, everything plays out at a 3x multiple, okay? GameStop was up almost 1,300% here, as well as AMC, and we're going to get into AMC in a couple of minutes. The next peak was 637, then 110, 120%. GameStop is doing the same thing right here, this being the second peak, of about 200%, which is the third of the 600%, and then down here, the same sort of percentages. What am I getting at here? What I'm getting at here is $21.40 is the potential very bottom for GameStop, and the cycles are also playing out much faster. It's almost a shortened cycle, a more aggressive time range than back in 2021. So this is where you're going to see the potential bottom. Anywhere from June 17th to June 18th, which is where we're trading at today, could be the potential bottom, in my opinion, on GameStop. That potential bottom could have been $21.40, or it could be where we're trading at right now, okay? This is where the potential flash down is, and that is the good news for GameStop. The bad news is we would only see sort of at most the top of this range once again, which would bring us around $50 to $55. However, this could be different if that T+35 settlement cycle is onto something. Now I'll bring up someone else's technical analysis. After the GameStop shareholder meeting, there were many disappointed tweets and posts. As someone eats crayon every day, I decided to dig deeper into the TA and compare with indicators and past bull cycles. First of all, monthly RSI. Based on this, you can learn that monthly RSI level broke out of triangle formation from bear market and entered bull cycle. Number 2, weekly long signal. In weekly chart, long signal appeared on 9/28/2020. Recently, the same long signal that appeared on June 10th, 2024. Number 3, and lastly, daily chart comparison, 2020 versus 2024 bull cycle. From long signal and daily in the bull cycle, last 2020 bull cycle algo matches perfectly with 2024 based on this yesterday's 12% drop after the shareholder meeting was final bottom, and GameStop could pop to $40 this week. After that, there will be continuous volatility until the first squeeze in end of September. Not financial advice. Also, nothing I say is financial advice as well. But this lines up to what I was saying, potential bottom right here. And we could come test the top of this range and bounce in this wedge until this wedge ends, which would be August 1st. For this TA says first squeeze September. However, the first squeeze could be Friday coming into Monday based on what Roaring Kitty is trying to tell us. And I think that's what the most important thing is to take here. Also, institutions have been purchasing since December of 2022 on GameStop and have continuously been increasing their position in GameStop, in which they did back before the 2021 squeeze as well, and they have not let go of shares just yet. Also, Investor Place is posting potentially taking a position in AMC for the short term, in which they never talk good on AMC. AMC institutions are also purchasing and holding on to AMC stock, even though they are in bad debt. So we're seeing things turn around here, right? Plus, AMC Theaters recorded its most attended and highest grossing weekend of 2024, which we touched a little bit on yesterday, but the numbers have just gotten better and better for the 3 movies that came out over the weekend. Lastly, according to Ortex, 14.94% short interest for AMC, but just like we said with GameStop, we know it is much higher, and you could probably find evidence just like GameStop as well as AMC that the short interest is hundreds of percentages, if not thousands. Now, AMC also have something very interesting. You're probably going to be confused as to what you're looking at, but the 3x multiple applies for AMC as well. You can see the first squeeze back here ran 1100%. We had this channel, we broke below, and then we base, and then we ripped. AMC, the same thing. We had this channel, we broke below, then we ripped right here, in which this rip was only around 400%, meaning that 12x multiple is lasting, with that other one around 1200%. Next leg up was about 150% from the base to this base, 50-ish%. Okay, so that 3x multiple lasts. What I'm getting at here is AMC's next level would have been 560, which we did come around to touch right here, right? It's a very small and short wick, and like I said, the cycles are pressed together and are much faster. The next level watching is 595 for AMC if we don't get that sort of squeeze sort of setup or scenario. With that being said, when the next rip happens on AMC, this was 718-ish percentage, which means after 595, I assume AMC is going to have that 3x less multiple at minimum and bring us to $17.50. And that is my temporary price target on AMC in the medium term. But again, the cycle's playing out pretty fast, so keep an eye on this. Couple last things to close out the video. Fisker, the EV startup FSRN, has officially filed for bankruptcy, and I want to jump into the SPY really quick. SPY is at 547.50, broke above 543.50, meaning we are potentially coming up to 5,500 to 5,600. I also wanted to show you Bitcoin correlation. Bitcoin is selling off. It is holding a major support. Once we break below this, Bitcoin is likely to come crashing down further. Got an ugly double top, just like it did back during the previous cycles for Bitcoin, is playing out almost identically. Now, based on the previous cycles, this is what the SPY did. Bitcoin hit its high right here, and then it hit its double high, in which you saw back in the charts high and then double high. And this is how the market was trading and reacting, and they sort of move in tandem because Bitcoin is a stash spot for these institutions and these bigger players and these bigger investors. Bitcoin just hit its first high. I wouldn't count this as its second high just yet, but with that being said, Bitcoin could potentially hit another high as the SPY comes and makes its potential top anywhere between October and November, which is around the election. okay? And I see the potential top actually being possible to go up to 5,800, 56 to 5,800 between that election time frame. However, that does not have to happen. This is just based off of previous cycles. But overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. The meeting didn't have much in it for GameStop. They didn't really talk about much except the money that they raised, and they're still sticking to that silence is golden sort of theory. Now, press the second link under the video if you want up to 15 free stocks, 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash. Use my link, open a Moomoo account, and make a deposit into there. It takes 2 minutes out of your day. It's free money. They're also giving you level 2 order book data for free, so you can see where whales are loading up, dropping off shares in any given stock. You can view other exchanges on there. You get a customizable earnings calendar. You can short stocks and trade options as a retail trader and more. So go do that, open an account, and make a deposit. Lastly, get in the Discord if you're not in here. We had some interesting talks over the past couple of days. Discord members, if you're watching, I don't know what the fuck is going on in Discord. But it's funny. I know people are freaking out about GameStop. That is it, guys. That's basically it for the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you don't have my custom indicator yet, it's the top link under the video. I love you all. Lottery Socks out.